Shame that tune!
Let's bring up our next contestant. Give a warm Northwest Side welcome to Steve Delahoyde. Very grand ending to She's So High. Okay, let's give that wheel a good spin. Shout out what you want to hear.
Backstreet Boys!
Wide clap.
Backstreet Boys!
Strokes. Oh! Five for Fighting Superman. Hey, we aim to please here on Shame That Tune. Tell about the audience, making the audience happy. There you go. Shaggy it is. It's about you. It's about all of you. Except the Five for Fighting fans who are very embarrassed to be here right now. Okay, Steve, you have 3 minutes to shame that tune. Okay, on your mark, get set, shame.
So my wife wanted me to tell this story of when I was like 7 or 8 and put a balloon on my penis and then was worried for like 6 years that I had deformed myself for life. But I'm not going to tell you that because that's pretty much the whole story. Instead, I'm going to tell you about fireworks. I grew up in Arizona and fireworks were 100% illegal. Biggest to smallest fireworks. Keep away from our guns, but if you have a sparkler, you're going to jail. But my family and I, we would travel around a lot and around the Southwest and like the neighboring states like New Mexico and Wyoming and probably not Utah, but all those states, they had fireworks. So whenever we'd go through there, my dad liked on like 4th of July and New Year's to buy a batch of fireworks. So we bought a batch of fireworks and we brought them back and he always kept them somewhere. And a couple months after this last trip, after he got this big bag, I happened to be in his office when I saw him put something away where I saw that same bag. And then I happened to see where he put the key to the lock that locked that thing. So a couple months later, I keep this in the back of my mind, and I am going to sleep over at my best friend's house, and I decide I gotta take some fireworks and like to up the ante. And I don't know why, because Edward Lim was my best friend, but on the other hand, like, you gotta keep Edward Lim on top, you know, like, you gotta keep him entertained, so I gotta bring some fireworks. So I sneak in there, I unlock it, I get some fireworks, I put them in my bag, we go to his house, and we, like, at night, we're setting off these fireworks and stuff, and the only thing I really remember of that is that we were playing, like, RoboCop on the Nintendo, and we passed like a certain level or something, and I said like, this calls for a special occasion. I don't know why, but we went out in the back and lit off like one of the bigger ones. So nothing happens that night. Like, we light a couple of them off and like nobody loses a finger or like goes blind or anything because of a mishap. And the next morning, my dad picks me up, and Edward's with us, and we go, he's coming over to my house to do some more RoboCop on the Nintendo. And on the way back, we asked my dad if we can stop at this video store to like rent games or video or something. And so we're wandering around. My dad kind of wanders off to wherever section he's going, and Edward kind of wanders off, and I'm there. And there's a thing when you're like, I'm about 11 at this age, is that when you first get a lighter, it's amazing. Like, it's incredible. It's magic. I don't know why. Maybe this is just me. But so there's a thing like, you know, like people click pens or something, like as a sort of a nervous twitch thing. I would do that, and I did this for years even after this, is I would like light a lighter in my pocket just for a second. It just gets a little warm. But at this time, I forget that I have a really big supply of fireworks in this pocket and a really big supply of fireworks in this pocket. And this is where I'm doing this. And so I'm wandering around and flick, 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 and suddenly it's the 4th of July in my pocket. In my pants, yeah. And fortunately, like, this was the big guns. Like, this would have, not maybe, like, it would have injured me. It wouldn't have taken off a leg. But this was these little, like, small fireworks. You know, like, you light them and it just goes like pop, 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 pop. But they're really small. So this just starts happening for like a minute straight. And I'm just standing there and it's just like, I have no idea what to do. But I'm fine after it. It's just, and there's like tons of smoke and everybody's looking at me. And my dad rushes over, and this is when it's like on his way over, I'm realizing like I am in deep shit because he's gonna know where I got these. And so he's coming over, and there's like this video game machine right next to me, and I start looking over at it. It was like, it's shorted out. This is crazy. And like I'm looking around at it, and like, but it clearly is still working. Like, if had it exploded to that degree, it wouldn't have still had like Gattaca or whatever on the screen. And so he's sort of looking around at it, and then he looks back at me and he asks like, why is there smoke billowing out of your pocket? And it is, like, I look down and it's just coming out. And so everybody's still looking at us, and the whole store is just completely smoke. And he grabs me, and Edward kind of trails out because he still has no idea what's going on. My dad drives 10 miles under the speed limit, no matter, like, all my life. He still does this. But on that day, he drove like 70 above the speed limit, driving home. And the only saving grace is that, because he knew what happened, and the only saving grace is this was like a week before Christmas. And so he didn't talk to me at all for Christmas, or up until Christmas. And then, like, what are you going to do? Your adorable 11-year-old son. So I got out of it, like, completely. And then my birthday is on January 10th, so there's like this overlap, and so I got away, like, pretty scot-free.